Well, hello everybody. This is Sirena Nereida, and I am back. I'm Sirena Nereida with Celestial Soul Wellness, and you know that we have been talking about in our program about today's. Well, actually, it's not today. It's the lunar eclipse at 14 degrees Libra, and it's a critical degrees, meaning there are going to be changes in everybody's life, especially those who are cardinal signs, Libras, Capricorns, Aries, and Cancers within 5 degrees of 14. So that would be anybody of 9 degrees through 19 degrees of cardinal signs. And again, of 9 degrees through 19 degrees of anybody of an air sign. So that's your Libras, your Aquarius, and your Geminis. But right now we're going to do the Oracle and Tarot cards. Thank you. I'm drinking some tea. I've chosen these cards. It's Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. And one of the reasons why I've chosen the cards is because it's all about the soul. It is all about the growth of the soul, how much it's growing, our interactions with others, even Mother Nature and the animal surrounding. We have to grow. Anytime we get stagnated or we get too comfortable, there will be an eclipse season or God's way or the universe's way or your chosen higher being way of telling us, get off our tush and move. We need to go to the other direction. And for some of us, it's more often than others, depending if we've learned our lesson or not. When we're stubborn and we don't like to acknowledge a certain pattern, then the lesson comes harder, okay? So the goal in our life is to be able to take that surfboard, go out to the ocean and surf the waves that are coming and not stand at the beach and get knocked down by the waves and say, oh my gosh, why did that happen to me? Okay, especially when you're just standing right there waiting for it. So the goal is to take the waves of life and to understand and to be, you know, and going with it. If you have a very controlled manner or dominating manner that you need to know everything and try and control others, you're really lacking the self of discipline and control of yourself, okay? And that is something very important. You notice that a lot with feminine energies trying to capture the masculine energy because they don't want to discipline themselves. But here I am shuffling, and I'm shuffling through these. Libra is a very relationship card. It is a sign. It is ruled by Venus. And we've talked about this already in the beginning part, but I'm just reiterating it. So it is about relationships and not just about love, because Venus is a mercantile planet. Libra is about import and export of merchandise. A lot of people think it has to deal with the law being fair and equality. It actually is those scales have to do with your weight in gold. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to separate the cards and shuffle again and see what is the oracle card that's emphasizing, you know, this wonderful eclipse, okay? So if there is something that's on your mind, please focus. Taking some nice deep breaths into your abdominal region, not your chest, your abdominal. And release. Breathe in again. Release. Keep an intention in your mind. And I'm going to pull out a card now. And I do this different from the Spanish and English because I get different energies from my wonderful Spanish-speaking community as I do from my English-speaking community. So, there we go. And what we pulled out here is, oh, this is nice. It's share your wisdom with others, shine your light. And that is beautiful. When we share our wisdom with others, okay, we are giving, we're making it easier for them to understand life and hopefully they won't have to go through the same difficulties that we did. A lot of us want to avoid people in our life getting hurt. So we like to share with them, and so that way they don't have to feel the pain, because the emotional pain, though we go through physical pain, the emotional pain is what lingers and hurts us more. So a lot of times we explain things to our children so that way they don't have to go through it, and yet some people just need to go through it because they don't understand another way. Maybe they're very detached from feelings that unless they actually feel it, can they understand. So if there is wisdom, know that everybody, no matter what path they are in, and no matter what career or economic level, or even phase in their life, from a child through an adult, they have wisdom to share through us, you know. And just this morning, I was a little bit out of it when a little story there, and I've been telling my wonderful, handsome teenage son, and I know all mothers think their sons are wonderful and handsome, but that's the joy of being a mother. But anyway, back to the point. I'm always telling him, pay attention to details. Look at what you're doing. Watch your hands. So be clear. And so this morning I'm opening up the gate, and he goes, "Mommy, there's a lock there." He's all, "Pay attention to details," you know. And I just wanted to laugh, and I go, "So my son does listen to me, you know." Now, if he puts it in practice, that's another story. But the funny thing is when I least expected, he shared with me my own wisdom, and at a time that I least expected it. And that is nice, because then we know we are being listened to, and that they're valuing, up to a certain extent, you know, who knows, but they are valuing what we are sharing. And so give that, because when you share, you're giving positive energy. And when we accept that sharing, we're also allowing that positive energy, because sometimes that is the only way a person can show love. So let's see how we can embrace that and make that, you know, part of our everyday lives. So here we have this, okay, and what I got there is become your own sovereign, so the difficulties can be embody ancient wisdom, and then seek wisdom of your shamanic guides. So we got a lot of needs of wisdom going on here, okay? So here, be your own sovereign. Really look into being you, complete as yourself, okay, before you can with anybody else. It's very important, because especially in relationships, a lot of people say, "Oh, you complete me." And they're anticipating or expecting someone else. But before anything, you have to complete yourself. You know, most definitely. You have to complete yourself before asking it from anybody else, you know. Hold on, I'm getting a shadow there. Let me tilt this way, you know. So that is very important. Because if you're not complete, then how is someone going to be vulnerable and trust in you? All right? You need to be that area where you can go for safety, sanctuary, and sanity. Embody ancient wisdom. And that's very important, because a lot of times with this new technology, there is different ways of thinking. And it's good to think outside the box. But look inside the box to see what no longer serves now. Take what does and add a twist to it of what is now. Because if not, we are not learning, we are not growing, we're just disregarding, okay? And that is not true, because if we were just a whole new element, a whole new race, you know, the human race just came, then we could just, let's do this now. But no, we have evolved, and there are certain things, astrologically, there are at least 12 different stories. There are over 1,480 some soul purposes, you know, and all the stories have been lived in some kind of twist or another. There's the jealousy of siblings, you know, the son trying to overcome the father, be stronger than the father, and show that he is better because the father no longer can. There's the wife being jealous of and resentful of the husband. The mother being resentful or jealous of the daughter trying to prove herself to the mother. A woman trying to show her independence, that she is not, reliant, and she is her complete sovereign person. All the stories have been lived, and that is what astrology is about, is those mythologies are all have come already and kind of like data entry, been inputted. And how do you fall into it, and how does that affect you in your relationships? Because within your relationships, you're going to grow. All right. Now here is the last one. It says, seek the wisdom of your shamanic guides. So you are being your complete person, okay? You got wisdom to share with others, but you got to be your complete person first. Because if not, how are you going to save others if you can't save yourself, A good friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, was telling me about an anecdote about the lifeguard and letting go of the body when the wave comes up to you and is going, hit you against the pole. And it reminded me, when I used to be a lifeguard, they would always say, save yourself first. Don't let them, drown you, because then both of you go. And it's very important, because a lot of times people think you're being selfish if you're focusing on you. And you're not. You're actually being rude and incomplete if you don't focus on you and you focus on others first. Because you're not complete. How can you? What wisdom do you have to share if you yourself haven't completed? And so taking that wisdom and healing, I bring up the amethyst to heal. All right. Very important. Always need to heal yourself, because otherwise other people cannot be vulnerable with you, and half of that healing and being your own wisdom and light and being complete, remember, is taking information from the past and then going to higher self and going to another planes and dimensions to seek that wisdom. Your animal spirit guides, your angels, the ascended masters, all right, even your ancestral guides and other healers too. So if you are a healer and you're watching my program, thank you, namaste, I'm very appreciative. But, also go search out, because we can only heal, okay, what occurred on a lower vibration. So if something happens now on this vibration, it's going to be harder for you to heal it, okay? You can heal things that happened in your life at a lower vibration, but not at this one. You would need to ask for help. Okay, so that's your oracle cards. So let's take out the tarot cards. I'm going to put these aside. All right. Ooh, is still going on? Yes. Okay. And here we go. Now, there are people that only use the major arcanas, and I like to do both. So what I'm going to do at this time is first do the major arcanas, and then I incorporate all of them, okay? So can you guys see that? Everybody see that? Great. So hoping everybody's having a good day. Hope you've had your wonderful alkaline meals today, especially with this solar eclipse. And since it can be emotional, ground yourself. Eat some nuts, all right? I know for some of the cultures, you're not eating meat. So you're having tortas de camarón, or your seafood, or your chicken. All right? So let's go a couple more times. And this coincides, with Easter. It's also it's close to a perigee moon. It's not an exact one, Neither was the other one. They exaggerated it by 3 days. And so, it was close, but not. All right. So I'm just letting you guys know that too. So let's see here. I know I keep saying so. So I have wonderful friends with constructive criticism. And they're like, you say okay too much, and so. And I'm thinking, so okay. But anyway, here we go. Let's do one more. Shuffle it up. I'm going to just do a 7-card spread on there. Pull up one, and then we go from there. So, we have the star, and it's upside down, so right away I would say items are being delayed, okay? But the star is really showing light and being the light, so it's going to take time to be that light. So we flip it over, delay, we know it's upside down is by being delayed, and that's okay, because when we're choosing for something to be delayed like that, we are actually going to take more time to develop, and we need to develop ourselves in such a way that we are free to be ourselves. This is related to the Aquarian card, okay, the Aquarius, the water bearer, as you see, and most people would think that, oh, look, she's getting water. No, she's actually pouring water, going. She's filling it up. So things have been depleted in our life. And the energies of the luminaries, I say luminaries because people say, oh, all the planets. But we got asteroids also. We got comets. And we have the moon. None of those are planets, you know. They're luminaries because that's what they do. They illuminate the sky. All right, so we have the luminaries, and they produce energy, and they're still producing energy even though they are no longer in existence. Some of those stars have died off, and that's very important because we need to remember in this time of the lunar eclipse in Libra and relationships that sometimes our relationships die off. And it's okay because the journey has been traveled, and all our travel companions are going to be throughout the whole journey. And who is to say what is a whole journey? Okay, is the whole journey all through the mountains or up to the pond, up to the tree? It's wherever those two souls understand. The key is to always be pure. Why is trust so important? Because that way we know that there aren't any games or needed karmic debt in return after. So this a wonderful lady now, remember, she's pouring water into the pond. A woman produces. She herself is the cup, okay, the holy grail in itself, caring, you know, and reproducing. And just like, you know, the Libran of having both sides, almost like the scale, and just saying, you know, let's give it. Instead of charging and taking, let me give that energy. And that's very important because in Libra, you know, we do have the North Node in it right now. And it's about relationships, and it's about balancing and harmony. But sometimes, too, those relationships are not just relationships here on Earth, but is up what's going on or what has already passed. Some of us need to deal with, you know, those who are about to pass or have passed away. And we have need to come to some kind of closure with that. Even if it's your pets, I know sometimes I get clients and their pets have asked for certain requests and they still haven't done that. You know, what is there a promise you had made that you could fulfill for them? Some way you can enjoy them. That's very important because then you could go back and come October, end of October, towards the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos and All Saints, they see how have you commemorized them, how excuse me, how have you kept them, their spirit, their soul still being appreciated in this realm, in this plane and dimension. Okay, so let's see how else we can expand on that. So we got the sun, okay? So once again, developing ourselves and the delaying of ourselves, all right? And moving forward. It's a very masculine energy. So is the star, very masculine energy. And it is about giving, but we need to develop ourselves. And we're getting another delay, is strength. And probably the delay is because we need to get the gumption to go. And strength is forever We have the infinite sign, and strength also comes from bravery and courage. But before, above all that, we need to know our limits and boundaries with our bravery, courage, and stepping forward, and trusting our own self. The majority of people are scared to move forward in life because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust themselves because either they have already hurt someone in the process, they don't forgive themselves, there's guilty that perhaps their own pride or their ego got in the way, and by doing that their strength did work, but it tore down in another sense of the relationships, and that you have to forgive yourself, most definitely. And by forgiving yourself, the way to do it here is we got it all upside down here, is Justice and the Emperor. Is being the emperor, understanding everything all around, not just one little country, one little region, but an emperor has to be aware of where the sun sets and where it doesn't, and at what time. There's a vast, I remember when I was studying for my master's, when we were studying about Spain, there was a time when Spain had owned so much land. Well, owned according to them, not according to the indigenous people in the Americas. But they owned so much land that the sun never set in Spain. Nunca se ponía el sol, decían. Entonces, there needs to be that understanding, and how does that all work, and how to make it to one's advantage in a positive way where everybody is receiving the good for it. Justice, too, is very important. Sometimes we might find justice a little bit difficult in coming here. And that is because we know it's not blind justice, all right? And here we do have, once again, the scales for justice and the sword, which goes with the Libra. So what is justice? Always think, too, when we're going in our relationships, if we had a choice at the time, our ego might want other people to be around us because, oh yeah, see, I'm awesome. The more people I have on Facebook, the more people who are around me when I die, the more people I'm busy with, means I am loved. It does not whatsoever. Okay? It just means you required more attention. There are many of us who are very well loved, and we never see those people. Also know, too, what in the sense is being justice, what is being loved in all that sense. So now I'm going to mix them together with the other cards, okay? And again, if you want to go get it real quick tea, please do so. If you need to check the ham for the Easter ham, go ahead. All right. Someone's saying, can I go to the bathroom? Yes. Remember, this is recorded. You can always pause this. I know someone said, I missed it when you said this and that. And I'm like, you do realize you could have paused the video. It's cute. But I appreciate how attentive some of you are. Okay, so let's go real quickly. Do another quick shuffle. I wish I wouldn't do so many, but I'm getting that feeling that you guys wanted it. So, okay, here we go. All right, we have the Three of Hearts, okay? Upside down. 1, 2. Ooh, we have the Knight of Wands. Are we getting that there? Let me move back so we can get this. Okay, we got the Knight of Wands. Okay, we have the Three of Hearts, Knight of Wands. The High Priestess. These are wonderful cards, okay? we have the Nine of Cups. It's supposed to be a 7-card spread, so I just don't have the room and then to fit into the camera, so please be understanding. Okay, we have the Moon, and then we have the Three of Wands, and we have Death. Okay, I always say death has beginnings, new beginnings. So let's go over this real quickly. So what is going on is there is a torn, there's other issues that are going on in business ahead with our heart. And that's very important because sometimes we think what's going on is right there plain to see. But like I was talking with a very wise person, you know, that what goes on subconsciously will sooner or later bubble up to the conscious and to the forefront. It might be coming out in our behavior, our choice of vocabulary, the way we're being. And so something is not being said. And so here there are issues that need to be addressed. They've been there for a while because, I mean, it even seems that the heart has started to heal around those stabbings when it shouldn't. It shouldn't even have had those stabbings in the first place. And sometimes those stabbings in our heart is a matter of perspective of how we saw the situation, not necessarily of what the situation was. We could have taken something very personally, you know, and it considered it drastic and as a sense of rejection and being upset by that without seeing it as an opportunity. Remember, every rejection, I told my son this many times, every rejection, it's God's way, the universe's way, you know, the source and light beings out there saying, we're protecting you from that. Okay, now that doesn't mean we just give up when something doesn't happen the first time. Give it 3 tries. After the 3rd, let it go, because then we might regret it if it does happen, you know, after. So, but do try something, but after 3, let it go. I'm sharing my wisdom with you guys there, you know. And in that, know that what is going on is there is a possibility of a stability, okay, of moving forward. It's we have the Swords as an air sign, so we need to get through and really go through that, and by using logic and releasing it, we will be able to heal, move forward. But there's other issues in between the things that are going on now. So, and you know, just so you know, I always, when I was first learning tarot, I kept thinking swords were fire. To me, it just made sense that they were fire, not air. You know, metal, fire. Thinking, you know, the warrior Aries and all that, but so be it. Yes, I haven't reconciled that issue yet. Okay, here we got the Knight of Wands. Moving forward, when we're in Knight, those are the times when we're in our late teens, in our 20s, we're just eager. We're like, yes, I'm going to make a life. I got these dreams and it's going to happen. Bam, 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 bam. And I can do it. I'm protected. I know which way to go. And I'm ready. Look at it. He's jumping up and everything. You know, with those issues or not. And so we need to deal with those issues because we got to move forward in life. And we need to move forward with the, I'm not going to say innocence, but with the novelty. A knight would go in the beginning of battle. All right. Not a king, because a king knows of all the negative aspects and the pains of battle. All right. Here, the High Priestess. Okay, and very important because the High Priestess is coming, all right, from totally feminine essence. And you know what? I just saw that it says Torah there. Okay, there's information, you know, she's got the Torah, she's got the cross, yet she has the Muslim moon right there at her feet. She is embodying wisdom there. Okay, and there is a contrast, and yet she's the one in balance in it. So this feminine essence in this time of the lunar moon is to really go back and deal with closure. So that way you can move forward in life, okay, and know that, because if we don't have that closure and balancing that, there cannot be new growth. And we have here the Nine of Cups that is just like look at what we're denying ourselves. We have so much prosperity, and we're denying ourselves and wanting just to accumulate more and more and more without enjoying what's there in front of us. I know some people, they'll buy certain the special plates, okay, for only holidays or for special guests or certain times, and they never get used. I know I did that. And it was like, I came up to a certain point that I said, wait, every day is a special day. Every day is a holiday in a sense to be celebrated. So I'm going to start using the special plates. And because I value and deserve it. So those are things you need to take into consideration, to help balance that. Because by denying yourself, you're not necessarily growing. You're trying to punish yourself, but you're really also punishing everybody with you because they cannot celebrate with you because you are denying. So if you're choosing, like I don't drink, but that doesn't mean I don't go to parties and then let others drink around me. Of course, I want them to have a good time. In fact, it's funnier for me because I'm sober watching what everybody going crazy, and then making the little remarks. So you got to share the abundance, share the prosperity, share the festivities with others, okay? Because by you being in a bad mood, you're affecting other people. Okay, so you need to snap out. If you're going to be in a bad mood, you need to do it in a cave away from others. Okay, and then you need to snap out of it because everybody has their low times and their high times to move on. And so we got the moon, and this is really wonderful, perfect for the lunar eclipse here, and perfect for healing because that healing light, we got the moon, we got the sun, and look at it, it's almost as if it's eclipsed there too because you have both right there. See how the face is. And so we got the wolves and the dogs howling, okay? And yet it's between two towers there. So it is going to now, it's illuminating the path upward towards the heavens, upward. And who is starting right there? The scorpion, which is Scorpio, okay? And it is regeneration, regenerated Scorpios like the phoenix it dies and is reborn, comes back from the ashes. It's about death, but not death, okay, necessarily a physical death, but a death to an idea, a philosophy, an ideology, a way of being, a habit, and coming to closure, okay? Death is coming to closure and allowing it to stop and say no more. Think of all the stress you have put on or someone has put on you in your life, and what purpose has it caused, and think, why is that happening? Especially nowadays with all this bickering between parents because the children think, stop, wait, what are you doing? No one told you that you had to go and have sex with her. No one told you had to go open your legs for him. And now you're being upset, Think about what's going on and how's that affecting the child. So now we're moving on to 3 of Wands. So we're trying to create stability. We're seeing what is our path. What are the possibilities from all that? Because now we are healing ourselves. We're moving forward in novelties. And that's really good because by moving forward, we get to see what's available. And letting go. That's just letting go of everything. Turn the back to what no longer is serving you in a positive way. Remember, when I say serving, we also serve, okay? And not just things serving us. But it all has to deal with closure, letting go, so that way we can move on with novelty, less baggage, with a smile.